Still waking up to pee? This one fruit could be your turning point. Have you found yourself waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night just to pee? Maybe you've laughed less, traveled less, or started to avoid intimacy. Not because you wanted to, but because something inside just doesn't feel right anymore. You might have told yourself it's just aging, that this is how life goes after 60. But what if it's not? What if your constant discomfort, that frustrating weak stream, and that subtle loss of manhood, could all be traced back to one thing: an inflamed, overworked prostate begging for help? And what if the support you've been missing wasn't in a pill or a surgery, but in a fruit you've probably walked past in the grocery store 100 times? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the power of one overlooked fruit, and why I now recommend it to almost every senior man I treat. Because this simple, natural food has quietly been helping older men shrink their prostates, sleep through the night again, and reclaim something they thought they'd lost forever. And the best part? It doesn't cost much. It doesn't require a prescription. And it starts working from the inside, where it really matters. Let's begin. Credibility. Meet the doctor who's seen it all. My name is Dr. James Corwin. I'm a board-certified urologist and men's health specialist, and for the last 27 years, I've dedicated my life to helping men over 60 reclaim their energy, their confidence, and their dignity. I've sat across from retired school teachers who felt embarrassed to talk about their frequent urination. I've helped former military officers who silently struggled with intimacy. And I've worked with everyday husbands, grandfathers, and brothers who thought their best years were behind them, simply because their bodies were starting to change in ways no one ever warned them about. And through all of those stories, all those medical charts and long conversations, one truth became impossible to ignore. When you give the prostate the right kind of nourishment, you can begin to restore what aging, stress, and inflammation quietly stole, without pills, without surgery, and without shame. That's why today I'm not here to sell you a miracle. I'm here to reveal the science behind one powerful fruit, a fruit that most men overlook, yet in my clinic has been nothing short of transformative. Because once you understand how it works, you'll never look at it the same way again. The unseen enemy: why your prostate is swollen and you're never told why. Most men think prostate problems are just a part of aging, something you're supposed to accept. But what if I told you that your body has been quietly trying to send you signals, long before the midnight bathroom trips began? You see, the real issue isn't just age. It's what age does on the inside. The first enemy? Silent inflammation, that low, chronic burn deep in your tissues. You don't feel it directly, but over time it swells your prostate, presses on your bladder, and makes you feel like you always need to go, even when there's nothing there. Then comes the hormonal imbalance. As testosterone slowly declines and estrogen creeps up. Yes, men have estrogen too. Your body starts storing more fat, circulating less blood, and producing weaker signals for intimacy and energy. Next is poor blood flow. Think of your prostate like any other muscle. If blood can't reach it properly, it can't heal, function, or protect itself. Reduced circulation stars the tissue, making everything feel slower, weaker, more disconnected. And finally, there's oxidative damage. It's like rust on the inside, microscopic wear and tear from stress, toxins, poor diet, and years of quiet neglect. This damage accumulates in your prostate cells until they swell, stiffen, and struggle to function. Now let me be clear. This is not your fault. Most men were never taught how to protect their prostate. It's not something your doctor explained, your father passed down, or society prepared you for. But now that you know, it becomes your responsibility and your opportunity. Because healing is possible. And it starts with what you put on your plate, especially this one underestimated fruit we're about to explore. For the star fruit, the one fruit that's quietly healing men across the globe. Let's talk about something that's been quietly healing men for centuries, but almost no one talks about it. Pomegranate. Yes, that bright red fruit full of seeds you might have overlooked in the grocery aisle. It's not just for fancy salads or health stores. This humble fruit is one of nature's most powerful tools for male vitality, especially prostate health. Here's why. Pomegranate is packed with polyphenol, a class of powerful antioxidants that target the exact kind of inflammation that swells your prostate and disrupts your flow. It also contains a unique compound called ellagic acid, which helps support cellular repair inside the prostate tissue, the very place where aging causes the most damage. But that's not all. Pomegranate juice has been shown in multiple studies to help balance testosterone levels, reduce oxidative stress, and even improve erectile function by enhancing blood flow. Imagine that, one simple, natural fruit doing what expensive pills and harsh treatments often can't. Reducing inflammation. Rebalancing your hormones. restoring blood flow to your pelvic area, helping you feel like yourself again, strong, clear, and connected. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who started drinking just half a glass of unsweetened pomegranate juice a day, and weeks later they felt the difference. Less urgency, better sleep, more energy, and a quiet but powerful return of something they thought they'd lost. It's not a miracle. It's just nature, used wisely and consistently. And while pomegranate is powerful, it works even better when you pair it with a few smart habits and complementary foods. That's what we'll cover next. Real stories. What happened when my patients tried pomegranate for 30 days? I could share all the science in the world, but sometimes it's a single story that really sticks with you. Let me tell you about Raymond, a 74-year-old retired schoolteacher from Ohio. When he first came to me, he looked exhausted. He said, "Doc, I get up 5 times a night. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I feel like I'm vanishing as a man." We ran some basic checks. His prostate was swollen, not severely but enough to explain the constant pressure, the urgency, and the broken sleep. I didn't hand him a bottle of pills. Instead, I gave him a simple suggestion: half a glass of pure pomegranate juice every morning, just for 30 days. He raised an eyebrow. "Juice?" I nodded. "Just juice. But every single day." 2 weeks later he walked back in smiling, and looking younger somehow. He said, "I don't know what's happening, but I actually slept through the night last night. I can't remember the last time I did that." A month later, not only was he sleeping better, he felt more energetic, more emotionally present, and more confident. And not just in the bathroom, but with his wife, his posture, and his entire attitude. Then there was Samuel, 68, a widower and former mechanic. He wasn't looking for romance or vitality, he just wanted to feel normal again. He was skeptical about the fruit idea, but he tried it anyway. He told me, "It wasn't overnight, but something shifted around week 3. I don't feel that deep pressure anymore. I'm not panicking every time I leave the house thinking I'll need the bathroom in 10 minutes. These stories aren't rare. They're just never told. Because most men don't think something as ordinary as fruit can make a difference. But when it's the right fruit, used consistently, with the right mindset, the results speak for themselves. And now that you've heard what's possible, let's talk about something that makes this fruit, and others like it, even more powerful. Beyond the prostate, how this fruit also helps your energy, hormones, and intimacy. You see, when most men hear prostate health, they think only about urination. But what if I told you this one fruit does far more than ease pressure on your bladder? Because when your prostate starts healing, the rest of your body does too. Let's break it down. Better circulation, stronger erections. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenol, plant compounds that naturally support healthy blood flow. And guess what strong blood flow affects? Yes, erections. When the vessels around your pelvis open up and oxygen-rich blood flows freely again, you don't just sleep better. You perform better. You feel like yourself again. One man in his late 60s told me, "I didn't even realize how disconnected I'd become from that part of my life, until it started coming back." Hormone rebalance, confidence. Here's the part most doctors miss. Pomegranate has also been shown to support testosterone production. Not in a synthetic way, but in a gentle, natural way, helping your body remember what it once knew how to do. Testosterone isn't just about libido, it's about drive, clarity, and confidence. When it rises even slightly, you notice. You stand taller, think clearer, and even smile more. Mood lift plus emotional clarity. The antioxidants in pomegranate don't just reduce physical inflammation. They help regulate stress hormones too. That means fewer emotional crashes, less irritability, and more of that calm, grounded feeling you had in your younger years. It's not just about performance. It's about presence. Feeling like you're finally back in your own body again. Less urgency, better sleep. And of course there's the sleep. When your prostate isn't pressing on your bladder all night, you're not waking up 4 to 5 times. You're resting deeply. And that rest does something remarkable. It resets your hormones, rebuilds your energy, and restores your mood, night after night. So yes, this fruit helps your prostate. But it also helps your blood flow, your energy, your hormones, and your sense of intimacy and self. That's not a coincidence. That's how the body works, as one system. And this fruit helps bring it back into balance. Next, let's make it practical. How do you actually eat this for best results? The right way to eat it. Juice versus seeds versus extracts. What actually works? Now that you know what pomegranate can do, here's the next question most men ask me. Do I eat the seeds? Drink the juice? Or buy some fancy supplement? Let's keep it simple because simple works. 1. Best form, unsweetened pomegranate juice. Forget the sugary blends or pomegranate-flavored drinks. You want the real thing. 100% pure. Cold-pressed. No added sugars. This delivers the highest concentration of polyphenol and ellagic acid, the exact compounds that target prostate inflammation and poor blood flow. Even better? Juice is gentler on digestion and more readily absorbed, especially in older adults. I've had patients tell me, "I don't like eating seeds, but this juice? I can do that every day." 2. Daily dose, just half a glass in the morning. That's it. You don't need to drink a gallon. You don't need to count every calorie. Just half a glass first thing in the morning, preferably before breakfast, gets the nutrients circulating early. You'll start your day hydrated, energized, and giving your body exactly what it's been quietly begging for. 3. Bonus tip, pair with walnuts or a drizzle of olive oil. Here's something most men don't know. Healthy fats like those in walnuts or olive oil can enhance absorption of key nutrients, especially those that affect hormones. You're not just feeding your prostate. You're feeding your testosterone factory. Try this. Half a glass of juice, a handful of walnuts, or a slice of whole grain toast with olive oil. Simple. Satisfying. Science-backed. So no, you don't need to crush pomegranate seeds every day, unless you enjoy them. And you certainly don't need to spend money on overpriced extracts. Nature already gave you everything you need, right there in the juice aisle. Timeline. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 days. You might be wondering, how fast will this actually work? Let me be honest, this isn't a magic pill. But when you give your body the right support, daily, consistently, it responds. Here's what many of my senior patients have experienced. Day 7, the nighttime relief begins. This is where most men feel the first shift. Less urgency when the bladder fills. Fewer nighttime wake-ups. And that constant pressure in the lower abdomen? It begins to ease. One patient told me, "I didn't even notice at first, then I realized I hadn't gotten up to pee in the middle of the night." It's quiet but powerful. Day 14, flow returns. Comfort comes back. By the second week, something else starts to change. Stronger urine stream. Easier start and stop. That constant dragging feeling? It softens. You're not rushing to the bathroom anymore. You're not standing there for minutes waiting for something to happen. You're reclaiming control. Day 30, deep sleep. Real confidence. Renewed intimacy. Now comes the breakthrough. This is where men say, "Doc, I feel like myself again." Here's what happens. You sleep through the night and wake up truly rested. Your energy returns during the day. That spark of confidence, intimacy, even desire, it begins to glow again. Not because of testosterone shots. Not because of expensive pills. Because your body is finally getting circulation, hormonal support, and inflammation relief, all from one powerful fruit. So when you ask, is this really worth trying? I'll say what I've told hundreds of men. Give it 30 days. Watch what happens. Don't underestimate this, why doctors rarely mention it, and why you must not ignore it. You might be wondering, if pomegranate is so powerful, why hasn't my doctor said anything? Here's the honest and unfortunate truth. 1. The pharmaceutical bias is real. Most doctors were trained in systems that prioritize prescriptions, not prevention. They're good people, but their hands are often tied. Drug companies spend billions promoting pills, but zero promoting foods that work naturally. There's no profit in pomegranate. No TV ad pushing juice instead of surgery. So it gets ignored. 2. Nutrition is still treated like a side note. Despite mountains of research, many in the medical field still treat food as secondary. But for men over 60, especially with prostate issues, food isn't secondary, it's foundational. Your cells don't respond to commercials. They respond to nutrients, real, healing, anti-inflammatory compounds like the ones in pomegranate. 3. But nature has always known the answer. Long before modern medicine. Ancient cultures were already using this fruit to restore male strength, vitality, and balance. They may not have had the science, but they had the wisdom. Now we have both. And if you're still waking up exhausted, frustrated, or disconnected from your manhood, this isn't about being old. This is about being uninformed. But not anymore. You now know the truth. And what you do with it could change everything. You're not weak, you're just missing the right tools. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath and hear this. You are not broken. You are not too old. And you are absolutely not alone. The truth is, Most men struggling with swollen prostates, low energy, or declining intimacy aren't suffering from old age. They're suffering from missing information. No one ever told them that something as simple as half a glass of pomegranate juice each day could gently but powerfully help turn things around. Because healing your prostate doesn't always come in a pill. Sometimes it comes in a piece of fruit. Sometimes it comes in a better breakfast. And sometimes it comes in a quiet decision. The decision to start giving your body the support it's been quietly asking for. This isn't magic. It's biology. When you feed your body the tools it was designed to use, it remembers how to repair, how to perform, and how to thrive. So no matter how long you've been struggling, remember this. You're not weak, you're just missing the right tools. And now, you finally have one. Join the movement to natural men's healing. Now it's your turn. If this video opened your eyes even just a little, drop a comment below and tell me. Are you going to try pomegranate this week? Even just half a glass a day could be the first step toward real, natural healing. Your story matters. Your effort matters. And your voice might encourage another man to take that first step too. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Because here we're building more than just a channel. We're creating a space where real men heal naturally. With food, with facts, and with support. This is the start of something better.